Hello everyone, hope you're having the most fantastic day today. Welcome to the Film Insight channel. For today's video, we're going to discuss even more restaurants featured on Kitchen Nightmares and reveal how they're doing now. So sit back, relax, and without further ado, let's get right into the content, guys. Amy's Baking Company.
Stop the red pepper ravioli, stop the...
It's ready.
big...
Sammy.
Stop it, they're leaving, I don't care!
I am not going to do this.
Stop it!
As any fan of Kitchen Nightmares will tell you, no one could have been prepared for the absolutely batshit insane owners, Amy and Salomon Sami Buzaglo. The two were absolutely unhinged, like you wouldn't believe. That episode got people talking and lit up an online firestorm that had everyone and their dog rushing to their keyboards, ready to rain hell down upon the utterly insane owners. It was hard to believe that people like this actually existed, especially Amy. It's hard to remember a scene where she said anything that resembled anything a normal human would say. This is how the infamous debacle began. With Sammy's $1 million, the couple opened Amy's Baking Company in 2006 in Scottsdale, Arizona, a place South Park called the most miserable place on earth. The restaurant was extremely successful, according to Amy, up until pesky freeloading Yelpers started coming in. These Yelpers would order meals worth hundreds of dollars and threaten the couple with bad reviews if they did not let them walk out without paying.
What?
They say it's not cooked enough. 2B.
Chubi, Amy,
What?
Chubis is not cooked enough.
It's hard to believe that anything disparaging said about Amy could be unfounded, but there have been cases of entitled customers taking restaurants hostage over the threat of poor reviews.
It's coming, you want to wait, you wait. You don't want to pay, what did you have and you from here, do you understand?
In fact, it used to happen so much that a few businesses began suing reviewers over negative comments, making the unlucky civilians have to defend themselves in court. A process that could end up costing hundreds and thousands of dollars in legal fees. In any case, this was not the route the couple chose. Instead, they turned to Fox TV's Kitchen Nightmares in the hope that the show's host, Chef Gordon Ramsay, would turn the tide of bad reviews with his glowing recommendation.
I need them to listen to you and not the online bullies.
I mean, if all your food is as good as it's deserved, trust me, there's something not quite right here.
Their business was under attack, and in Amy's view, it all started 2 years before Kitchen Nightmares, when these reviewers and these bloggers decided to make up lies and say they ate the food and it was disgusting. Her reaction was less than ideal.
You can take this back too. You didn't like it? Not good. Okay.
Amy, infuriated by these random attacks, went online and hurled insults at faceless attackers, calling them losers and morons. That just made things worse, and a new solution had to be found. Kitchen Nightmares. Their submission video to Kitchen Nightmares severely underplayed the couple's over-the-top attitude over everything. In it, Amy seemed normal, and Sammy was described as being nervous and clueless about how to run the front of the house. It was such a twisted version of the truth. If that's all Ramsay had to go on, boy was he in for a surprise, an epic meltdown of catastrophic proportions. Like the Spanish Inquisition, no one could have expected it. To this day, Amy's Baking Company is the only restaurant in both the UK and US versions that Ramsay has ever walked out on entirely. We all know what happened next. Cut to Ramsay's arrival, and the restaurant was spotless, the decor was on point, and the freezer was organized with everything labeled. A beautiful colored array of cakes on a display case was in full view for everyone to see. And what's more, the famous chef found the cakes delicious.
That's lovely.
Thank you.
And the ganache as well.
Thank you.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But alas, he'd been duped. Amy didn't bake those cakes. In one of her many crazy Facebook rants after the show, Amy admitted to buying the cakes, repackaging them, and then reselling them. We do not need this, you stupid people. America is about reselling. It is not a big deal. The cakes we offer are expensive because we have to repackage and ship. Do not blame us because you cannot afford quality. The Yelpers and now the Reddits need to back off. You're not right just because of some TV show. This kind of all caps lock screaming is exactly the kind of behavior we'd seen earlier, even before Ramsay had arrived. This next part shocked and angered viewers to the core. You will be appalled by the shocking behavior of Sammy and Amy. Remember the red checkered shirt guy, the one who received an earful from the owners? Poor guy. After waiting for an hour, he approached Sammy asking for his pizza, and what he got was Amy yelling, "Send him home!"
Look at him. He's like, where's my pizza?
Really?
Send him home.
Followed by a shocking barrage of expletives from Sammy to the effect of "pay and get out." But it wasn't just the customers who received this abuse. Ramsey, righteously pissed off that the waitresses were getting their tips snatched away by the owners, told Sammy, "Don't fuck with me."
Miranda, the young girl?
Yeah.
You don't give her tips.
No.
Sammy,
Yeah.
you cannot take servers' tips.
Sammy heatedly fired back with, "Don't f with me. Who the f you think you are? I'm the gangster, not you."
With you,
Yeah.
who the f you think you are?
Tell the customers they're going to get their tips.
No, they don't.
Yeah, I want
you
to
will
speak.
f with me, I will
No
with you.
fuck.
Sammy was telling the truth about that. He was a gangster of some sort. You won't be at all surprised to know the two were a regular Bonnie and Clyde duo. Sammy Buzaglo was born in Morocco, but he was an Israeli citizen. On May the 21st, 2013, a report by the Arizona Republic and 12 News stated that Sammy was involved in an immigration and customs enforcement case, whose agenda was to deport him. Sammy had come to America somewhere around the early 1990s, and he'd served time in prison before his arrival. He had been imprisoned on charges relating to drug trafficking and extortion, a stint that barred him from ever entering France or Germany. The reason for his extradition charges was his failure to divulge his criminal background to US authorities before entering the country. His wife wasn't clean either. On August the 16th, 2001, Amanda Amy Bossingham applied for a $15,000 bank loan under false pretenses and was arrested on October the 11th, 2002. On November 6th, 2003, she pleaded guilty to one count of misuse of a social security number and was sentenced to 14 months in jail. She served her time from 2008 to October 2009. They were already married at the time of her incarceration. The pair had tied the knot in 2004. Anyway, back to the kitchen. Ramsey was facing down the has-been gangster, and Amy was just nuts. However clean Amy's baking company was, the food was definitely not up to par.
Oh dear. That is overcomplicated. So unnecessary.
Ramsey waited 75 minutes to receive an undercooked pizza. As he put it, the dough was wet, the pizza was undercooked in the center, and there wasn't enough garnish on the outside. Sammy heard all of Ramsey's criticisms and chose not to tell his wife. He knew she wouldn't take kindly to any complaint and would likely have combusted and exploded.
I know my wife. She doesn't take the criticism. She will be shaking, and then she said, "That's it. I'm leaving."
In a special follow-up episode, it was revealed that Sammy had pleaded with Gordon, "Can you make her change? Make her change." It wasn't just the pizza that was awful. The ravioli too was a failure. It was store-bought crap, and Gordon tried to ram these facts into Amy's thick, impenetrable skull, but her defenses were too strong.
These are store-bought
I
crap
understand
frozen
that.
ravioli.
They're not crap, and they're delicious, and the first time I've ever...
Oh my
Did you
God.
taste it? You didn't taste that.
Her behavior was infuriating. You couldn't get to her. She'd always deflect with some inane comment. "The food is delicious," or "I'm an excellent chef." She could make no mistake. Fans of the show have dived into her odd behavior, and there's a consensus that she's narcissistic. She certainly displayed multiple traits of the disorder. A grandiose sense of self-importance, a sense of entitlement, showing arrogant, haughty behaviors, and lacking empathy. Her cold-heartedness came shining through when she fired an employee, busser Katie Cipriano, for a minor slight where, to be fair, Katie did show some attitude by asking Amy whether she was sure about a table she just set.
You don't work here anymore, okay? Don't start crying.
Don't
Why
cry.
are
No,
you
please,
behaving
come
like
in.
this?
No, no,
I
no.
wasn't doing anything.
Okay, then.
I wasn't doing anything. You had an attitude with me all night long.
That event cascaded to a heated exchange that led to Katie quitting in tears and Amy oddly screaming at her not to walk away from her after she just fired her. Not only did Amy demonstrate an inability to take any form of criticism, but she would lash out at anything that seemed remotely disrespectful to her or her husband. In the follow-up episode, Amy defended her reactive nature. "Yes, I'm going to say things if someone attacks me. I'm not going to stop. If I stop, then I'll be a pansy. And I'm not a pansy." The pair seemed to hate showing any form of weakness and would aggressively attack any perceived slight. Amy was openly hostile towards Ramsey the moment he found something wrong with her cooking. The husband wasn't much better, he was very aggressive, and that brings us to the next thing. The couple's predilection towards genitalia, more so balls or a lack thereof. When Kitchen Nightmare caught up to the couple for a follow-up episode, an enraged Sammy screamed that Ramsey had no balls and was jealous of his balls. Amy chipped in by stating that online trolls also have no balls because they were eunuchs. They had such a way with words. According to her, the Yelpers and the people hiding behind the computer screens were the camel toe mafia. They are pussies, they are pansies, they have no balls, because if they had balls, they would come to my face. However, as with all such notoriety, the couple reportedly received life-threatening calls and messages. Famed tourists would come to gawk at them. Vicious online posts would become their daily bread as people wrote them disturbing messages like suicide would be their best option, or that they were fucked and Gordon should have stabbed them both, or that their cats would be killed. It didn't help matters that Amy was having a monumental breakdown on Facebook, acting out a one-woman war against a sea of trolls. She made herself an easy target that delighted would-be trolls because all a troll needs is a response. The meltdown, which Sammy would partake in, included rants that made them sound even worse. You won't believe the kind of things they wrote. We will start a generation of truthfulness, and we will fight to bring places like Yelp and Reddit and horrible people like Gordon to the light. I am a Wonder Woman. I am a great chef, a great wife, and a great mom to my kids. And we will be parents to a human kid one day too. We will show all of you. To all Yelpers and Reddits, bring it on. You are pussies. You are weaker than my wife and weaker than me. My wife is a jewel in the desert. You are just trash. This is Sammy. I am keeping notes of all names here. We will be pursuing action against you legally and against Reddit and Yelp for this plot you have come together on. You are all just punks. You are all little punks. Nothing. We have God on our side. You just have your sights. These reactive outbursts would later be used as perfect examples for businesses on how not to react to negative customer comments. Forbes magazine even featured Amy's baking company in an article highlighting 6 things a company should never do on social media. In the end, it all had to come to a close. If there's anything nice about them, it's that they stuck together. They genuinely seemed to like and respect each other. Everybody else could go fuck themselves. Closure of Amy's baking company and life afterwards. Amy's baking company closed on September 1st, 2015, 2 years after the Kitchen Nightmares episode aired. They moved to California.
In 2015, we decided we wanted to take a break. We sold our restaurant.
We sold the restaurant. We didn't close it.
Where Amy made a cookbook called Baking with Amy. It's on Google Play and has 1.2 stars out of 5. She stated that she became a master cannabis baker, selling edibles while in California. I cannot say how well that went, but if her earlier efforts are anything to go by, somebody probably died. In 2018, Sammy was finally deported, and she followed him to Israel, where they now live in a beautiful town by the beach in a town called Netanya. They live in an apartment in a high-rise where Amy plans to open a bakery on the ground floor of the building, where a dance studio used to be. She regrets that the world got to see how she gets when she's defensive and scared. As for Sammy, he said this to the New York Post in May 2021. For me in Israel, the life is honey. I'm enjoying this beautiful town, beautiful country. I'm retired. Well, that will be all for today's video here on the channel. I do hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to drop a massive like down below and comment your thoughts. Subscribe for more content like this, and turn on those sweet bell notifications for instant access to our content. Have a good one, guys!